Time for Thought Shifting Thursday. So the title is War. What is it good for? And as it says in the description, we all know the answer to that question from the popular song by the Temptations. Absolutely nothing, right? And yet it keeps happening. We've got two major wars going on, probably a lot of minor wars that we don't even hear about in different places.
For sure.
And so this recent one, I mean, they're just, civilians being killed, from this, caught in the middle of this. Many people who probably don't even care about the political issues, right?
That's just the way it always is.
Yeah. Well, there are wars that have a lot of casualties, and there are wars that have, where the powers that be are actually trying not to kill citizens, but it doesn't seem to be happening with this one. And so, what are the solutions, right? I mean, we've got some ideas here, and realize this might sound a little Pollyanna, might not sound all that practical. We may have to evolve more as a species before we can get to a place where we put human life above political and economic agendas, right? What are your feelings about what's going on?
It's the Holy Land, and it's the place where there's been so much fighting and bickering for thousands of years,
Mm-hmm.
from thousands of years, and I don't understand it. I really don't. I'm just heartbroken to see how many people from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a tragedy from either side. Thousands are dying.
Yeah, I have a friend, good friend, Michael Benner, was the host of Inner Visions on KPFK, and before that he was a DJ on KLOS back in the day. But really good guy. He has a school called the Ancient Wisdom School, I believe it is. And he proposed this. I've heard him say this many times. What we can do is outlaw war. Now, again, it's going to take a lot of agreement, before the world can get to that. But it would be an agreement that if anyone wages war on anyone else, then they're ostracated. They're not part of the global community. Now, with terrorist groups, is that going to deter them? Probably not. But the countries that house them, right, would then be responsible. And to add to that, this just occurred to me the other day. And look, I'm not a politician. I'm not going to be able to put this in place. But maybe if we spread the news about these ideas, that's how things get changed. When enough people, believe in something and are rallying for it and creating petitions for it and writing their Congress people, and when enough people get on board to an idea, it can happen. So this is the idea. We've got the largest military budget in the world. What if we started to take money out of gradually out of the military budget and pay countries to keep the peace? Money makes the world go round, right? We kind of did that in Iraq, right? Where we were paying, was it the Sunnis to not to not wage war, right? And it actually worked to an extent. And so, if we took our military budget and ultimately could reduce it by 90%, have all that money going to support, to share the wealth, right, of this country. Because as we said in previous videos about what's happening in the world, what the problems of the world, and one thing that we know, that we believe, is that the problems aren't going to be solved unless there's a greater degree of economic equitability, so that impoverished countries have an opportunity to raise themselves up. The way it is right now, it's not a fair playing field. And so this would be one way that we could equalize that playing field and support smaller countries, and regardless of your political, people will go beyond their political agendas for the sake of money, right? And hey, it'd be nice if people could get along. Why can't we all just get along?
Here's some money. Get along.
Exactly. Hey, at least there's a starting point, Hey, in every business, people are incentivized financially. Anybody who works, right? Most people wouldn't be working if they weren't being paid for it. We incentivize everything. Let's incentivize peace. That's the idea. Spread the word. Tell it, shout it from the rooftops. Send it to all your social media. Let's get on board with this. Let's maybe start a petition. Maybe I'll start one.
Mm.
What else do you want to add to this?
Yes. Well, it would be nice. I mean, there is a lot of money that goes into that
The war machine.
the war, to make more planes, to make more this and more that. But that's why we Americans feel safe here, because we got all these badasses protecting us, right? And so if everybody had that feeling that we're safe, no one's going to come in and kill us. No one's going to come in and mess with us, because they don't need to. They got their own. We have their own. Everybody's got whatever they need. Whether we do have to pay people to calm down and be civil and be civil, maybe that could work.
My friend, back to what Michael Benner said, is he said, there was a time when people said, when slavery was legal in this country, and people said, we have to outlaw slavery, and it wasn't a popular idea, right? And there was a major war that happened as a result of it, and yet slavery became abolished. That's the phrases he uses: abolish war, right? Mm-hmm. So slavery is not legal. There's
a nice thought.
Slavery is still happening, and there are more people in slavery today than there were when slavery was legal. But at least it's not government approved, right? At least you go to jail if there is slavery, so there is deterrent. So will it happen in our lifetime? I don't know, but we can, if this became a political agenda and we started doing it gradually, maybe it's only 5% of the military budget, but we move in that direction, and then we move to 10, and we get other countries on board and say, hey, we're going to do this, you do it with us. Let's make this world a peaceful place. Everyone will benefit. Everyone will benefit politically. I mean, I don't know what is in Vladimir Putin's mind, right? But he can't remain popular unless his people are happy and feel safe, and so, and maybe it won't happen in Vladimir Putin's lifetime. But ideas, begin in strange places. Mm-hmm. This office, we're probably not the first ones who have thought of this. For the first time I've heard it, but let's do something. What are your ideas? What can we do to create peace? I mean, information, it's social media is a platform now that we can use to share ideas about peace. This couldn't have happened 50 years ago. So let's get on board. Good for today?
Yes, that's
all right.
Great.
Well, we love you guys, and let's bring it back to how can we create peace in our homes, with our families, with our relations, because it starts here, right?
Right.
So let's remember that as well. All right, take care, and we will see you next week.
Stay safe.
Thanks for joining, Naomi and Norma. Looks like Norma Jean. All right, take care, everyone. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Share, like, comment.